Listen, I'm not gonna sit here and tell you a sheet mask is gonna resolve all your childhood trauma and then you're gonna just find all the self-love for yourself. I'm not gonna help market a $1 trillion business that capitalizes off people's insecurities. Alright, now that's out of the way, welcome back to my channel. I am Amy. Today we're gonna talk about self-love and... Okay. You love self-love as well, downtown LA. That's how I'm gonna take that. Anyways, I feel like so much of our society is focused on self-love. It's always, you need to love yourself before you can love others, but we rarely ever talk about how we can practice self-love. So today I wanted to share with you my 5 self-love habits that I think are both philosophical, practical in some sense. Number 1, I read this on the internet and it really resonated with me, and it said, how do you practice self-love? By exploring your self-hatred. I think all of us have a resentment and insecurity and anxiety towards ourselves, and it's often kindness and compassion that we lack for ourselves. And I always say that you need to be kind to yourself, but a lot of times I think most people are afraid to explore themselves. And I wrote this on my Instagram somewhere. It said, get to know yourself. You are an entire universe. Let me just say that one more time. Get to know yourself. You are an entire universe. And I think a lot of times people who have the most resistance to therapy, journaling, introspection, it is because that they're afraid of themselves. I genuinely believe that anyone can benefit from therapy, whether or not you quote unquote need it. And no, this is not where I put my BetterHelp sponsorship, I swear. Anyways, but I think that most people who are afraid to even do psychedelics or to journal every single day or even talk about their own problems have the highest walls. So I feel like a lot of times we're afraid of our own darkness and our own insecurities and our own depth. Truly, even the most superficial, most shallow people we know have incredible depths to them. It's just whether or not you want to unlock it or harness it. And I think for me, I love self-help and self-development so much because I'm not afraid anymore of my own darkness. I want to battle my own demons every single day. I want to become a better person. But for a long time, I told myself I didn't care. I had thick skin, I was not sensitive, that I didn't care what anybody thought. But in reality, we care so much. We were given hearts and souls for a very reason, and that's what faith is, that's what hope is. And I feel like to block off that part of you that feels so intensely is one of the greatest pitfalls of mankind. Wow, I'm so dramatic right now. But so the way that you practice self-love first and foremost is getting to know yourself, whether that's recording on your phone and talking to yourself, because I know a lot of people don't like journaling. For me, I have a passcoded Tumblr. I also have 1,000 journals, and I have an entire video on morning pages, which is a daily journaling exercise, which I'm going to link in the cards up above. And for me, I even did that for about a month and a half, and it was so beneficial. Like any good habit, you see the compound investment. You see how much it is really truly benefiting you the more that you do it. And even if you do morning pages or journaling for 1 day, 1 week, 1 month, I truly believe that you will find so much benefit from just that one area. It doesn't matter if you have to do it every day. I think that's really daunting. But if you don't like journaling, I would suggest recording it on your phone, talking to somebody. But I often find that journaling or recording things on my phone is much more liberating in the sense that I don't think about another person's judgment. While friends are the original form of therapy, your friends have their own demons to battle. They have their own walls. They have their own insecurities, their own self-hatred. And it is really important. I want to just also say that before you dump on other people, I think it's important to ask, like, hey, are you in the right mental space to hear, all of what's going on with me? Because, there's often times where I'm feeling pretty bad about myself, and then a friend just unloads all of their stuff on me, and I feel like I carry the weight of their pain and my pain as well. That's a little side note. But anyways, explore your self-hate, journal, record to yourself on the phone, talk to a really trustworthy friend who has the mental capacity and space for that. Don't be selfish with that, but don't be afraid of yourself. Get to know yourself. You are an entire universe. Number 2, honor your body. Now, this is something that I greatly struggle with even now, and I just got goosebumps thinking about it. Growing up, I love fashion. I've been to multiple fashion weeks, and I think for me personally, my love and passion for clothing has always been inversely proportionate to how I feel about my body. So the more that I love clothes, the less I like my body. And while I am so body positive, I'm pro body positivity, I find that the darkest parts of me hate my body. On the worst days, I will just be so mean to my body. And I think honoring your body has to do with as simple as before you even go to sleep, before you start your day, just thanking, I know this sounds really weird, but thanking each body part for what they've done for you and what they continue to do for you. So I thank my legs before I go to sleep. Thank you so much for getting me from place A to B, from B to C. And my arms, thank you so much for lifting that really big book off the bookshelf. And thank you so much for all that you do for me, because I wouldn't be here without a healthy, functioning, amazing body. And I think that a lot of times when I start to eat poorly, it is because I already think so negatively of my body. I'll be like, oh, your arm is already super flabby, just eat the hot Cheetos. And that is not honoring your body. That's actually doing a disservice. And a lot of times I realize that when it comes to my dog, who I love almost like a child, I mean like the closest thing I have to a child, I would never give her french fries, I would never give her hot Cheetos, because I want her to live as long as possible. And I know that she's gonna get diarrhea and it's just gonna be so awful and painful for her little cute fluffy body. She's right here next to me. So for me, it's like, why would I feed myself that trash if I wouldn't even feed my own dog that, or my own children that? Try to think of your body as your dog, as someone who you love's body. Like, would you treat their body this way? Would you talk to their body that way? For me, I'm also an emotional eater, so a lot of times I will understand, oh, I'm sad, and then I want french fries. And to me, it's like, if you're sad, the foods that you eat also mess with the neurochemicals in your head, and they actually can worsen your mood. It's like self-medicating. You're not ever actually addressing the problem, you're just kind of putting it over and over and creating more and more problems. And so honoring your body means not doing it for vanity, for superficialities, not about being skinny. It's literally about treating your body as if it was the most important thing that is keeping you alive. Because guess what? It is. It has so much to do with the way that you speak to yourself and the way that you treat it. When you go out and party, understand that the next day you're gonna have not only a physical, but an emotional hangover, and then you're gonna also wanna eat greasy foods or hangover foods. And so it is so important to honor your body, celebrate all body types, stop the negative self-talk, and just sit down and eat for wellness and train for wellness. It is about feeling good from the inside and out. Number 3, challenge yourself. How many times a day do you do the same thing? Do you resort to the same activities? You go home and you go to work, you go home and then you binge out on Netflix for about 5 hours, you eat the same foods. Just try and challenge yourself, whether that means going up one more point on a treadmill, running a little bit faster, trying to actually speed up the time that you say you're gonna finish something. So if it takes you like an hour to clean your house, let's challenge yourself and make it 45 minutes or 30 minutes. So much of growth comes out of our comfort zone. I know everybody says this, but it's so true. So much of our growth comes out of our comfort zone. And so you have to feel uncomfortable a little bit each day. So challenging yourself means getting uncomfortable, not doing something extreme, but just challenging yourself, whether that's finishing a book a day faster, saying hi to someone new, saying hi to someone attractive, just facing your fears a little bit at a time. For me, I'm very terrified of speaking to new people, let alone good looking people. So every day I try to say hi to a stranger, I try to introduce myself every single day, and then honestly, after a while, it doesn't become so challenging. And then you've already kind of faced that fear, and so then you move on to the next challenge. And I used to really struggle with running a 10-minute mile in high school, and now I can easily run like an 8 to 9 minute mile, and that literally happened day by day. And so I just challenged myself each and every time. I couldn't even run faster than a 5 speed on the treadmill, and then I started working out with my friend Jen, who is like such a beast, and now I can run like a good 9 or 10 miles per hour, which is insane because I couldn't have done that if I hadn't challenged myself every single day. And so challenge yourself, get out of your comfort zone. Like, you are not growing, you're just stagnant if you don't challenge yourself. And it doesn't have to be anything super crazy or big, it's gotta be small. So just challenge yourself today. Like, make yourself uncomfortable. Number 4, treat yourself. Now, growing up, I had a job since I was 15. I worked 3 jobs. Money was always kind of an issue in my family in the sense that I didn't grow up with much, and I'm totally okay with that. But I think because I grew up with that, I grew up a little bit frugal, stingy in the sense that, you know, the money that I earned was really hard-earned money. And so growing up, like massages, face masks, facials, workout classes were all a complete luxury. And a lot of times people will say, you know, $30 for a SoulCycle class, that's crazy. And you know what? Before I really delved into health and wellness and my own spirituality, I thought that was an insane amount of money. But you know what? The $30 that I get from getting a good workout, getting my endorphins released, just overall improving my health, it is 100% worth it. And while I do think it is still quite a luxury, it is a luxury that I think is one of the highest forms of self-love, because if you love yourself, you will take care of yourself, mind, body, soul. And I think that while, you know, a sheet mask is like not necessarily the only form of self-care, I do think it is a form of self-care, but I don't want, you know, I think a lot of these videos are very problematic in the sense that they're always marketing some type of, you know, beauty product. But I think it's as simple as setting up an ambiance. So I'm someone who loves to have a beautiful physical space. So I have a Himalayan salt lamp, I have a Muji diffuser, a bonsai tree, I have plants everywhere. And I think those are all treats to myself because it's a luxury, and I love creating an ambiance at night. I have this like baby light projector that just really amplifies my late night sessions with myself. And you know, buying yourself a nice candle, not all the time, just once in a while, and lighting that at night, smelling it, something that makes you feel good. Getting a facial, because you know, a lot of your skin is a physical manifestation of what's going on inside, like the internal stress manifests on your face. So getting a facial, getting a massage. I think I read somewhere online that touch is such an important factor in our happiness and our mood, and so it's actually really good to be touched once in a while. So get a massage to feel happy. And so that made total sense, because I used to think massages were completely out of my budget and completely a waste, but I edit so much, I have so much back pain, I actually think I should go to the chiropractor. But what I'm trying to say is that the massage is something that is self-love. Like, I love myself, so I should go get a massage because I have back pains. I am not touched very often. This is just a small form of self-love. It's about taking care of yourself, mind, body, and soul. But I'm not here to tell you to go get a fucking jade roller, okay? Like a gua sha thing. I mean, that is a form of self-care. That is a form of self-love, but it's not the only form of self-love. That's all I want to say. That's all I want to say, okay? Last but not least, number 5, practice radical self-forgiveness. And this is so important, because how many times a day, how many times do you find yourself in the shower just rubbing your head, thinking about the dumb thing you said, thinking about the way you might have hurt somebody, the mistakes you've made in your lifetime? Like, I don't know about you, but this is a good majority of my brain, and it sucks. And I think it's so important to adopt a learning mindset, and not only adopt a learning mindset, but also an abundance mindset. So what this means is, when you adopt a learning mindset, it is understanding, hey, what did I do wrong? What could I have done better? And how can I implement what I've learned into my future life or into my future actions? And so for me, while I might get caught up in mistakes, I always use them as a jumping board for me to get better as a person, and for me to not do or say those insensitive things that I might have said when I was 15 at a party. I don't really know. But it's important to adopt a learning mindset and understand that mistakes are there for you to learn and grow from them. It's not for you to feel guilty or awful about yourself, while I know it's super easy to get there when you're in your darkest times. But it's also learning that the abundance mindset means that there are so many opportunities to do better, to do right, to do good. And just because you might have fucked up one situation with one friend, there are so many new situations with so many new friends that await you. Just know that you don't have to live life in scarcity. Life is abundant. You can have so many new friends, so many new relationships to do better. And as long as you know that you have learned your lesson from that, that is what you take from it, and you hold that close to your heart, but you let everything else go. And understand that you are not your mistakes. You are the things you consistently do every single day. So if you consistently do those mistakes, and maybe you are those mistakes, but in general, when you learn from them and you grow from them and you do better and you understand that there's so many new opportunities for you to do better, you are not your mistakes, and you need to release them and understand they're in the past for a reason. The past is over. The future has not yet come. The only moment we have right now is the present. And so use the present to learn from your mistakes and to not hold them against yourself. Alrighty, thank you guys so much for hanging out with me today. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. It would help me out a lot. And subscribe down below if you like these videos. And I will see you guys next Monday. Bye. Every Monday, new video. Oh, I forgot to dab. Hey.